I have a question for you. How much do you know about heaven? Come to think about it, when was the last time you heard anyone speak about heaven? Paul in Colossians says we must set our hearts and minds on things above, where Christ is, and that's heaven, not earth. A few weeks ago I was back in Wales, where I was brought up. Now historically the South Wales valleys were full of heavy industries, including steel and coal, and with mining in particular came all sorts of pollution. So to many outsiders the place seemed dirty and derelict. But God thinks differently, for it was in these same Welsh valleys in 1904 that all heaven broke loose. 100,000 ordinary working Welsh people became believing Christians in the space of just a few months. The Welsh Revival, as it became known, was the last real revival that the UK has experienced, where heaven literally came to earth. Hard-drinking men would come up out of the pit after their shift and fall on their knees asking God for forgiveness. But we know so little about heaven, how heaven and earth interact, and how they were designed by God to work together. We know so little about the kingdom that is in heaven, and how that can be manifested on earth now. And yet, didn't we ought to know more? Didn't Jesus instruct us to pray that his kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven? And who do you think gets to answer this prayer? Yeah, we do. Destiny Image Europe are just publishing this book, On Earth as in Heaven. In it I talk about heaven, how everything that happens on earth impacts heaven. Think about it. Everything that happens on earth impacts heaven. But it's also God's intention that things that happen in heaven should impact earth. This book explores what the kingdom of heaven is all about, and how that kingdom, the power and the glory of heaven, are available to us in the here and now. It was clear to me as I wrote this that it's all about his presence. I think it was Bill Johnson that said recently that in our meetings we used to camp around the sermon, but now we choose to camp around his presence. You know, sometimes we come away from our meetings having had just a sense of his presence. That's how we talk about it. But God isn't content with that, and neither should we be. If we're content with a sense of his presence, all we'll get is a sense of his power and a sense of his glory. It's not enough. It never was enough. I want to tell you that heaven is open for business. Even the creation is groaning, waiting for you and the sons of God to take their rightful place. If you're hungry for more of God and his heaven on earth, then this book will help you start a fresh journey. Determine to start a new adventure in God today.